Why, how, I don't know.
My wife is a psychotherapist.
Living on this earth is challenging. Sex also can become a meditation. Love can become a meditation.
You said so many interesting things already. Tantra and spiritual practices overall, can they help a person to achieve his goals?
Man will bring you flowers and chocolates and take you traveling. Is this a true desire?
I'm glad that you're saying it.
Why there is so much about sexuality?
I just cannot hold myself.
Oh, life is so much fun.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Evgeny. Glad to hear you. Glad to see you here. Today I have a very special guest with Sarani. Hello, Sarani.
Hi, Evgeny. Hi.
For those of you who, yes, hello. For those of you who doesn't know, Sarani is, among other things, is a tantra teacher that is coming to Spain this April to deliver a seminar which is called Tantra: Intimacy with Your Inner Self. So I my idea is to show you Sarani from what kind of person it is, so that you can see how wonderful the retreat is going to be. So Sarani, it's really not difficult to call you a successful woman. Um, you have a publishing house. You have a retreat center in Lithuania. You are an international teacher of Tantra, and you're also a family woman. How do you manage to do everything, and how did it happen to do all of it?
Yes. First of all, I wanted also to acknowledge you and also to say how happy I am that we are collaborating and now sitting in the different countries. Exactly what Tantra is about: feminine and masculine, hot and cold, winter and summer. So, in a way, you are in the area of Spain and I'm in Lithuania, whereas right now, at this moment when we are doing the recording, is cold. So, it's perfect elements of opposites that make the unity. A little drop into the Tantra world, and also to start to answer and to tell you a little bit about myself. And you mentioned quite a few things that I'm doing, and I'm listening, and I'm also going, is this me? Yes, I am. I would say I am a very creative person, and so creativity blossoms into many directions. And yes, I do actually what I like. I Yes, I love books from the childhood, so I created a publishing house. I love meditation, so I created a meditation center. I love Tantra and the wisdom of it, so I started sharing. And also, the family was the last drop into my wholeness that I could say honestly, a little bit missing. Family, what I mean is to have a child also, and of course a man in my life. And yes, right now I'm living that part as well. So it's really I feel fulfilled as a person, as a woman, on the layer of personality or the layer of the outside world. And also, yes, so I'm managing, and just because of meditation, and I guess we will touch a little bit more on the subject, but just because of having experience of 25 years in meditation, that makes life a little bit easier.
Wow, that's 25 years of meditation. It's quite a lot. You know, they say you can say that you started this path of esoteric, if you can put it this way, when it wasn't the mainstream. So, can you tell me what role did the practices like meditation and tantra? What role did it play on your path, in your life in general?
Yes, as a young woman in Lithuania. At that time, in 2000, it was not so much available. And actually, even earlier, in 2000, I went already to India for the first time. And even before that, I was curious. And I would say everyone has that part. I dare to say the seeker in us, that
Mm.
part feels that there is something more than the horizontal life, than just having what to eat, what to sleep, to make love, or just the mundane world. And in me, that part was very strong. So I was seeking, searching, and I feel, or yes, I think that if we search, we find it. And I was looking, even things were not available. We are from the same region, and you are aware that those days it was not much available of information or practices or teachers. But I found it. Osho is my master and my teacher, and I came to know about Osho. I attended the first seminar, which apparently was Tantra seminar. I had no idea. I
Mm.
never heard the word of Tantra, and life threw me directly into the river, and I started swimming. And I, after that retreat, I said I found. Suddenly, I felt like I was thirsty, thirsty. Of course, I was a young woman, 24 years old, and but I felt like life had no meaning to me at that time of job and marriage and just socializing. I really was thirsty for something else. And when I found Osho, I felt meditation. That's what I was thirsty about. And of course, Tantra came along. It's inseparable. And I went to India, and the whole journey begins. And yesterday I celebrated my half of my life. I am on this path already. Amazing, amazing. And out of meditation, many things come out in mundane world, but also the deeper, the inner world is also opens up more and more and deepens the understanding of oneness, of silence inside.
Well, congratulations on your second birthday, if you can put it this way.
Yes.
Can you tell me how do you think is this inner search? You said the like the ordinary life wasn't enough for you.
Yes.
Do you think it's an inborn, or how is it possible for a person to find this call from inside?
So we are coming back, I believe, to meditation and to Tantra. To me, Tantra is also a path of awakening, and also that helps to connect to our true potential. The seeker in us is searching the silence, the peace, the harmony. But also, what I came across is um, we still are on this earth. We are human beings, and we are social human beings. We contact every day with family, with friends, with the co-workers, with workers, with the people on the street. We are always in contact. And also, everyone carries something that we came to this world on this earth to unfold the secret, the treasure, who we really are, a part of finding the silence. So, all the practices to me, they help to contact, to connect who really I am, to express myself and feel good in this horizontal life that I've said, but also to deepen that silence. If we find the silence, we cannot just sit with our eyes closed and do nothing. We still
Mm.
have to do something. So it's actually very, very contradictory what I just said, because horizontal life is kind of boring and not interesting. But eventually, we still are living. We still have to eat. We have to connect with people. The whole point is like, how do we do this? We can do this out of reactions, out of being blind, out of being sleepy, trying to manipulate, to please. We are ambitious. The world makes us run the marathon that we are unaware. And this is what I call is boring, uninteresting, and doesn't give to our soul the satisfaction. But if we start doing practice, meditation, Tantra practice, suddenly we start to get in contact with who we are, with our essence. And from that essence, we can finally feel what's our purpose, what's our treasure in this life, and to connect with the inner world. And it's like a cloud that gets filled, and then the cloud wants to share, to rain. So out of that fullness, we start sharing with the world. Sharing, our job becomes sharing, creativity, joy. Our love life also becomes sharing, not a demand, not a manipulation, and we feel good with ourselves. And our course, actually, this is also a big part about intimacy with ourselves, and to how find that space, that inner potential, that inner treasure, that intimacy, that we feel so good with ourselves that we can share with others. And there is not a big separation, intimacy with another and intimacy with yourself. It's basically finding that spot inside that I feel good. The world keeps changing, keeps bringing us challenges, and it will, always will. Doesn't matter how peaceful you are, but how you can respond to these situations. So, to come back to your question, life is always full of challenges, and it's just our inner world, how it reflects, how it sees, how it mirrors. How do we dance with life, you know?
Sounds good. So
Yes.
can you tell me if you finished? I wanted to ask. I don't know if there ever was a choice for you, but was Tantra your conscious choice? Because there are so many different practices available. You said that you went to an Osho seminar and then you went to India, so you kind of plunged into it and you started swimming in this river. But in general, why exactly tantra? Why is it? Why do you find it more interesting than other approaches?
You are asking, and I'm trying to feel it out, which oh, it's to answer with the mind and to answer very precisely why, how, I don't know. I am. I trust life very much, and this is what I'm also sharing in my courses, like how to create that space of trust inside and the trust with the world, and what life brings us. Instead of seeking something, really desiring. I mean, desire is also good, but really feeling what life has to bring to us. So to me, life brought tantra, and it really resonated. And I don't know, did I find tantra? Did the tantra found me? I don't know. But this first course that I came, and I did experience had experience, and the teacher also in my first course, he said to people, she's a born tantrika. I heard the word, it sounded beautiful, but I had no idea what tantra is, and I let it pass. I even didn't catch it because it's those days I never heard the word tantra. And then I happened, I went to another seminar, and the tantra teacher also said, there were 60 people in England, and she says she's born to be a tantra teacher. And that time I was 25 years old, and I was like, what is all about? And it took me a while to understand what others saw in me. And I just felt very good with tantric practices because I felt I don't need to learn. It's just, this is what I, if we believe in esoteric, probably this is what I came to this life to share. I just needed time to uncover, to unfold, to take all the obstacles that was covering my my inner potential that I was sharing before. For me, it was to share about love, about also about pain, what covers the our nature. mm. And through loving approach, through loving tantra techniques that tantra offered, they were very, very comfortable for me. I tried yoga. I went to Japan and I sat in the monasteries with the Zen monks. And it was beautiful. I do sitting meditations as well, just sitting and watching. But still, I felt some juiciness was missing for me. The joy, the fun, the pleasure, the laughter, that feminine expression of what Tantra offers was missing in the path that offered in certain other directions, that I didn't feel so much connected. I went to church. Okay, there was God, and I go to church sometimes because my partner, this is his path, and I go and I close my eyes and it feels good, but still I cannot so much connect how much I connected with Tantra. And in Tantra, with all the practices that are related a lot with the body, with the sensuality, with the visualization, with the contact, um, I felt so good. I felt so good, and I felt like this is so natural. And then I felt this is how I came that, okay, this I can share. So the
You said
Tantra,
so many interesting things already, and I'm getting all these questions inside of me. You said you said you said that tantra, when practicing tantra, you felt a lot of pleasure, and that's one of the things that that got you. But on the other side, it's not only about the pleasure, right? There are some moments of when we have to deal with some pain that is inside of us, probably. So, how do you think, in general, maybe I'm not sound, maybe I don't sound too correctly, but still, is there some things that are in common between tantra and psychotherapy? Because this is like also a path that deals with understanding what's inside of us. I mean, inside of our minds, but of course the approach is different. So how do you think, is it somehow related, or can you say that it's there are some connections between these two, between psychotherapy and tantra?
you're asking me this question, and I'm with a pleasure smiling inside how intelligent you are. And I believe so much that people are so aware these days, much more, and
I just leave my wife is a psychotherapist, so I'm dealing with these questions almost on a daily basis.
okay. This is why also I love the path that Osho created, and I call my teaching, I could say also Osho Tantra, because your question is very good and straight to the point, that some Tantra techniques and methods, they are very ancient. An ancient person lived in another type of world. And even meditation techniques at that time were so different because people were living in the villages and everything was slow. So, of course, like an ancient tantric practice that I give sometimes an example would be just to caress the small finger very, very gently, to get in the
Mm,
moment through the body, through the sensation. It seems like very subtle, but a person who is living today's life, has no time to even watch a video for 1 hour these days, I guess. What to talk about
yes.
reading a book? People are so overwhelmed and overstimulated that even to sit in a meditation when the whole system is actually overstimulated is very difficult. So that's why Osho comes very, very, I could say, necessary, his techniques for today, because it's for an active person. and therapy as well, because we do need, and Osho's approach was like that, we need a therapy before we go to meditation. We cannot go straight to meditation. Some techniques of Tantra sometimes we cannot do because we need some cleansing. That's why actually after 10 years of meditation, I sold apartment. I gave up a meditation center, everything, and I left to Los Angeles, and I studied for 3 years with Dr. Janov, who created primal therapy. And I worked
Hmm.
privately, private sessions, just to work with my pain, with my childhood trauma. So that's what my work got deepened, because it has those two parts. I'm very, I work in my courses a lot with the pain because it's unavoidable. And that's why my Tantra is different. And sometimes people, when come to my courses, they do say that Sarani's Tantra is different because I
It's
add
true. Hmm.
that element of we cannot avoid the pain by going, as you already picked it up, just straight to the pleasure. We just cannot feel the pleasure because the pain is so, can be so overwhelming, that it could be an escape to go to some, maybe some sensuality technique, because I better close my eyes, I don't feel the pain, and I go directly to the to feel the pleasure, and I will be avoiding something. But the way I use my primal techniques, I use my primal experience, because I did a lot of pain release. I had thousands of sessions were private, that cried my tears out, had my understanding, so I can bring them into loving techniques. And love is also a very, very beautiful technique, because this is what ultimately we need. An example: 3 days ago, a couple that I worked asked me for a session, and we worked. And there is a very, very complex situation. We're already having a fourth session, and we discuss and we talk, and the situation is really difficult, challenging, I would say. And for both partners, it's not about just understanding or having certain issues released, because it's a really complex situation. I will not go in detail why, but
Of course. Hmm.
I mean, yeah. But in my sessions also, we work psychologically. We work on the how, why, but finally we added a bodily related techniques, bodily, where I felt was needed, breathing, some Tantra practice to ground them in who they really are, because they forgot. The issue is so strong and unresolvable. Only with the depth and understanding could be acceptable. It's about learning to live with a challenging situation, but whether to get the resource, to watch a movie, to go traveling. The problem is not disappearing. So I grounded
Yes.
them in the body, in the remembering who he is as a man, is remembering who she is as a woman, and in their unity and the meeting. And suddenly I could feel in the energy in the face. They said, "Thank you. Thank
Hmm.
you." They sent me the next day message. The woman says, I forgot who I am through this issue, through this challenging situation. Now I can look with a different eyes. Yeah. So that's why we
It's
need.
interesting what you're explaining. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, Sarani, but it's very interesting what you're saying. I just cannot hold myself.
Sure.
Does it mean that that Tantra is capable of solving the problem without digging into it? So it's like a cutting a corner, no, making the path shorter for anyone that is seeking for an answer.
I would say we are a complex beings. We have many parts in us, and then we are
Hmm.
have that part inside that doesn't change, which is, it's spiritual part that never born, never dies. It's basically a watcher within us to connect, and the meditation and Tantra helps us to connect and expand that part. But certain parts of our personality are in pain. And sometimes I believe that I worked on myself also quite a lot, that it never can be changed. It can be only a loving and aware. approach can be brought to myself, that I can hold those parts. They can be held. Nobody can hold them for me. You know, this is the pain
Okay.
that I feel. Yeah, we are searching that somebody else can hold me. So the intimacy with ourselves, to learn to hold myself also. Pain will be there, and Tantra is not about solving the problems, I would say, but
Mm.
I would say it helps us to connect to this healthy part of us, healthy part that remembers our light that we are, remembers the love that we are. And sometimes we forget when we fall into pain, and the pain also could be very, we get addicted the pain, and we work and we get the situations and we feel we're doing something, and it's okay, but both are needed. Yeah, so your question was good, and this is my work is also about that, to bring, to help us to feel and to invite all the parts that we are, to give space to, not to deny, not to say that we don't work with this, we work with this. No, to include. And this is, to me, is Tantra.
So we are coming to one of the most important questions, I think. Can you explain what is Tantra? Like as if you're explaining it to a child or an alien. I don't know, but so that it's easily understandable, because there are so many things that already during this conversation we are comparing it to psychotherapy. We are comparing it to some different things. But still, in your opinion, how would you describe it?
Hmm. I'm answering this question for the last 5 years. Yes, I remember my first interview that I was trying to answer and nobody understood me because people had no idea what is consciousness, what is expanding consciousness. And it was for fashionable magazine of Lithuania. They were expecting me to talk something about sex probably, and I was going about expanded consciousness. Little bit of. So Tantra is, it's, let's say, a path to awakening. Path to awakening, like other traditions, Sufi or yoga path. It's the people that searching. What is the difference? That it I pick up from where I ended my last question, that it's not about dividing, it's not about excluding, it unites. So
Mhm.
if yoga chooses it's more like a will path. Yes, you have to, it's about strength. I don't sorry if I might say something not the right, because I'm not really a yoga person. This is how I see yoga. It's not that I study yoga for many years, but it's, you need a strength, a will. It's not about feeling your emotion, it's not about feeling love. These things, I believe, come, but it's really a different path. In Zen, as I mentioned, you have very straight, you sit, you watch, and I will bring term in which a world like masculine. It's not about expressing the beauty, the joy, the sensuality, which is feminine. So very, Tantra unites masculine and feminine path. It's not dividing. It doesn't say that you have to be strong or you have to be soft. It helps to connect feminine and masculine parts in us. Our parents, a man and a woman, made love. So we have two energies inside of us. We have a body. If I'm a woman, as a feminine body, you have as a masculine body. But the second body for me would be masculine, and for you, feminine. So basically, every human being is half a man, half a woman. And when in Tantra we say in a marriage happens, there is a unity, there is no division. Then we say we don't need the other, the need, the pain, the misery of trying to get something a little bit fades away. We can find that unity within. So, this is the message of a Tantra, to find that unity within, and of course, with the cosmos. Finally, we're going into the bigger picture, disappearing into
Hmm.
the ultimate, into the universe. Sounds beautiful. And Tantra brings very, very practical methods how to do this in your home, you can do with your partner some practices, or alone in the nature, using your body. Hmm? Not not standing on the head as an example, but using all your senses, all what is natural to you, what is it's all included. And then even what is outside world as a partner, so we use it to find who we are, to find that silence inside. Hmm? So, Tantra is a path that includes everything. I will add, probably the question can come that why there is so much about sexuality. You know, Tantra and sexuality always comes as a almost synonymous. You
Yes.
find, tantric movie, which could be almost a porno movie. Tantric sex, it's a lot. Tantra comes together with sex. It is true, but I would, as I mentioned before, that Tantra includes our senses, Tantra includes our breath, Tantra includes our body, Tantra includes the outside world. So, Tantra has 112 techniques. And it's like a tree that has many branches that comes to one finally. And one is sexuality, because we are sexual human beings. And we include sexuality too, but we cannot take all this picture and use one branch and say this is the Tantra. Yes, we include sexuality too. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to use sex and to learn how to use sexual energy as a meditation. Sex also can become a meditation. Love can become a meditation. Eating can be meditation. Walking can be meditation. So, Tantra offers this wide range of practices that can open the right door for you to come into contact with yourself.
But it's interesting what you said because it's, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a big specialist in Freud's theory, but I think it was Freud who said that you can transform your sexual energy into other forms of energy, like you can do arts, you can do science, you can do many things if you don't waste it. Isn't it the same as Tantra? Because Tantra says to us,
Almost. Tantra says,
almost.
almost, because Tantra's message is, the sexual energy is very raw, very, mm, in Tantra we call it like mud. It has lust, it has animal part in us. This is the animal part that Tantra invites us also to get to know. Mm? And when we get our roots, we get light in the roots, then the energy can flow into our heart. We can become
Hmm.
loving, we can be creative, we can do a lot of expression into art, into science, as you mentioned. But one thing was missing is that this energy also, when it's overflowing, it can rise higher and it can become meditation. This is silence. This is the where we fall into the in tune with existence, with this whole beautiful existence that we are, and we forget, we come back to the source. So this is the whole point of Tantra, to remind ourselves that we are animalistic, and we basically are animals, and to remind us that we are sacred, that we are light beings. So the animal part, the loving, creative part, and then the that we are sacred, light human beings.
Wonderful. Sarani, can you tell me, you provided several examples of what might be the reasons that people come to you and go into the Tantra practices. In your opinion, does Tantra and spiritual practices overall, can they help a person to achieve his goals, like general goals in his daily life? How do you see this?
Um, First of all, I would say, to the person who has goals, like, where the goal is coming from which space. If if it's coming to, if it's driven from the pain perspective and from the neurotic part that wants to achieve and wants to prove or wants to show off, I yes, it could be from there, or it's coming from this space of sharing. Hmm? So I would
It's
say,
like, do we really?
yes,
Sorry, we have a bit this time lag, but what you just said is if we put it another way, you can say that, do we really know what we want, right? If
exactly.
so, if you said, if these desires are brought from the neurotic parts or from the pain, so with time you can see that it's not what you really wanted, right?
Right. So with the meditation and with this, the more you fall into the resonance, or how we called our retreat, with the intimacy with yourself, then you can see, actually, I don't need this, because
Hmm.
it's tiring, it's exhausting, I feel bad, I don't sleep, because maybe you are not actually doing what you're supposed to do. Because maybe the voice from your grandmother, father, or somebody else is telling you, do it. Only when you do this, I will love you. We're all seeking love by whatever mean, Maybe I will become a president of a company and then I will be loved. Maybe I'll be the most beautiful woman, then I will be loved. There is also always this hidden part that wants to be appreciated, loved, acknowledged. But maybe we don't need that. It's tiring. So, with these practices and also feeling the pain, these layers connecting with the pain, the layers of pain, maybe we can see that, actually, I don't need this. Or I need this, but maybe in a relaxed way. Yeah. So, also in the our questions before, I mentioned that to find who you are, what is your true desire? Desire is also a bridge to manifestation. It could be, your question is also good, because what I noticed, for example, when I came to India, I was 25 years old, and I had no idea what do I want to do in my life. I graduated business management. My degree, master degree, was in finance. I had no idea. I didn't want to work in any bank. I felt so boring, but I felt, "Oh, I need to do something." I felt I have energy, but I was so much in pain, so much in pain. I was frozen. I was like, ah. So when I went to Pune and I started doing dynamic meditation, I started doing some courses. I cried, I jumped, I expressed my anger. Suddenly I felt like, oh, life is so much fun. I could do this, I could do this. I came back home. I felt like I love books. Oh, I could do a business. I started publishing house. Oh, I love meditation. You see, because when we cleanse, when we release, when we connect to that silence, suddenly our brain starts functioning with what it's supposed to function, with the truth, who we are, because we came to this earth. We are not in Mars or Venus or God knows where. We are here on the earth. Means we need to do something here. Maybe we came, to paint, to dance. Maybe, I don't know what, there are so many things what we came to do. So we can, it's, we can feel that silent voice. And
Hmm.
then even any goal, yes, it helps to achieve because we have energy and we are in tune with existence and with ourselves.
Uh, can you say that, for the person that starts practicing meditation and tantra and some other, maybe other things, can you say that his values change? And if yes, in what way do they change?
Um, you know, I believe that our value is about being natural, true, honest, loving. And out of that, anything can happen. When we are relaxed in the body, when we speak our truth, when we are loving with ourselves, life, it's so beautiful to live. There are challenges, of course. So the values, of course, could be very different for different people, but the values of being true to yourself, to the truth, to love, because it's really a lot things is about love. The work if we do with love is different. The contact that we have is different. Our hobbies, if we express lovingly, they are different. So it's, to me, also it comes to Tantra, because it is about being loose and natural, learning to be natural. So the value could be loving, natural, and of course, when you become that, bringing more and more attention to awareness, how to become also aware. So again, we connect feminine and masculine, love and meditation, being loving and being aware. And this is also Tantra's message.
Okay. Um, how do you think for someone who might see our interview and you describing this spiritual path and spiritual this turn so nicely, it might be interesting and but I think that the person who is not familiar with the meditation and tantra and consciousness, so he might have some very realistic problems and issues in his life and maybe not acknowledging them. So, what would you say? What issues can be solved with the help of meditation, awareness techniques, and tantra?
Yes, good question. We are living in the world of the mind and practical, being practical. Like, what do I get? That's true. It's very good if you are. We because people have challenging situations. Living on this earth is challenging. I would say, I would say that. First of all, we find the inner peace and in the inner state that we can deal with stress much easier, because every day we get stress. That talking to people, solving some problems in the work or in the family, we find that not a reactive place inside, but more understanding. Because especially in my courses, I teach really a lot of practical things. I spoke a lot about existence and what Tantra is, because I really want to make it that it's really a beautiful path, but also it's very down to earth. It's very practical. So I share a lot of practical techniques for you about communication, hmm, because also we need to know how to communicate rightly so we get what we want. Now I talk about, especially about couples relationship. And couples relationship or intimate relationships are most challenging, and this is where we get a bit overwhelmed or lost, I would say, in the storm. So how to navigate in that storm? So relationship world is very actively looked in the Tantra retreats. That's what people learn, to communicate first of all, so they can get what they really want. And of course, before that, to understand, what do I want? What is my
Yes.
real need? Yeah, because we spoke about that before, that maybe my need is driven by neurotic part, and maybe now as a woman, maybe I'm just a little girl or a little princess, neurotic princess, who wants all my desires to be fulfilled. You can find many seminars like this. Man will bring you flowers and chocolates and take you traveling. It's nice, but is this a true desire? Is this a true longing. So in the course, you can learn what's my true longing. Hmm? Maybe I want to really be seen or deeply held or understood. And then, well, so these things we are learning to understand what's my need. Is it coming from neurotic part, or is my true calling, my true desire? So I can finally get a connection. Also, learning and finding my true potential, so I can see, am I doing, I dare to say, even my work? Am I on the right path? Do I fulfill my own goals of my true nature, or somebody else? Hmm? And also loving your body, how to love your body, because the body in Tantra is very, very uh, deeply looked in. So contact with the body, because many bodily techniques, and also many playful techniques. So I can find that this life is not so serious. Yes, I can see the life more and contacts in a more playful way. I would say these things we people can learn more or understand more, I would say.
I'm glad that you're saying it because it really resonates with what I feel about it. Well, logically, the questions that I put for the prepared for the interview, and they they somehow it was my perception of tantra and the way I took part in it. But for me, the one of the most important things was really finding the true self and getting connected with it, and the way the values change is also a very spectacular thing for me. So
Mm.
let's hope that that we are on our way, and that more people are going to join us on their own ways. Uh, can you please tell me in April, this April, you're coming to Spain, and you're bringing the retreat called Tantra Intimacy with Your Inner Self. Uh, what are we to expect from it? I can imagine that some part of it are going to be spontaneous, as it should be in life. But still, what are the expectations that we can have?
Mhm. Yes, I'm looking forward very much. And I've been in Spain. I was in festivals, and in Ibiza Tantra festivals, I gave my courses, and then in Bilbao festival. So Spain felt very good to me. The energetic, it's loose, it's fun, it's warm, it's perfect.
It is, yes, it is.
uh, what we will do, uh, first of all, we meet the people where they are. Yes, what people come with their issues or challenges, and we work with the layer of the, let's say, the outer layer first. And it can be work, we will work with emotions, how to learn to understand, but also feel, express the emotions, and also to become aware, so we would not be driven, or act out to the world like just irresponsibly. So this is an aspect of emotion intelligence. Then we will also learn to connect or to regain our vitality, our energy flow, that, as I said, has a part of animal. As a child, as a children, we were taught to be serious, obedient, and good. So we lose that juiciness. We lose that fun part, and that's why life is boring and people feel depressed. So instead of going and get looking for alcohol, drugs, or some other entertainment, we will learn to contact that juiciness and find that juiciness inside, in our body, in our energy, to become friendly to the animalistic part in us that sometimes we actually even could be challenging to look at it. So we will do in a very playful and fun way our also the field of sensuality, how to find that pleasure. And the pleasure, I don't mean just have a sexual pleasure. Yes, it's part of our need to feel sexually fulfilled, but what I mean in this case, a pleasure to live, a pleasure to be in this body, a pleasure to be in this life, because we are here, we have to live, not as a miserable life,
Mm.
but as a life, like this life is a gift, to be grateful for it. So it begins here. And of course some meditation practices we will learn, and practices what we will do with another person, what I named before, to learn um, sensuality, to learn pleasure, to learn to communicate. We need another, that in Tantra we take as a mirror. So we use another person, but there will be times that we will be just with ourselves. When we work with
Okay.
another partner, it's fun to know another person, but another person is just a bridge to find who I am. Hmm? And then there will be some group related practices that can bring into even more expansion as a community, as a wholeness, that to understand that we are all just human beings and seeking,
Mm.
searching for love.
True. I
But
have
I just
one last. Sorry.
uh, sorry, yes, Evgeny. I just wanted to, of course, add that there will be probably some moments that some of participant will bring certain question or issue that we will bring it in, and also we might open another door that will be needed for the course. Of course, I'm open for that. Also creating in the moment from the group of people that are coming together.
Okay. Wonderful. I have one last question, really. Uh, we have to announce that this February you are going to deliver an online demo course for everyone who is willing to participate, right?
Yes.
Um, any ideas of what it's going to be?
What it comes to me now, I would like to offer that we will do a practice that I spoke about today, that it would be related to what I spoke, that we will learn to contact our feminine part. Doesn't matter, are you a man or a woman? A feminine part, which is joy, light, love, beauty, and then we will learn to contact with the part that is, we call it masculine. Again, doesn't matter, are you in the feminine body, a masculine body, but a part that is more direct, goal orientated, logical, and also it's about silence, awareness, watching. So that we will experiment with those two parts, so we uh, can understand, okay, I have both. And my journey can become much more relaxed if I understand that I have two energies inside and how to contact them, and to unite them. So I will offer a practice meditation, um, that you can have and experience yourself, and you can be surprised what is inside of you if you come to this practice.
Yes, wonderful. Surprises are always great.
Yes.
Okay, Sarani, it was a huge pleasure to see you today and to talk to you.
Yes, thank you for good questions and for your curiosity and your genuine interest and also desire to make this happen. And I really believe that we connect, unite our energies, and also with people, and we meet in life. We meet in the energy field of love and awareness.
Yes, I can't wait to see you in April in Spain, and hope time flies, and it will be very soon.
Yes. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye bye, Sarani.
Bye. Bye.